And again, happy weekend, everybody. It is Wes with Pikes Peak Trades, and this is a supplemental video to my weekly Stocks A to Z series. I wanted to get out a few other names that I think just have extremely interesting charts. And you may be wondering, why in the world does Wes do so many videos? Is he just like hearing himself talk? That is actually not the reason. This requires me to dig in and do a lot of studying. And this is just a way for me to rehearse what I'm looking at, researching, and thinking for the upcoming weeks. And also just to give me a great record, to be able to go back and take a look at what was previously recorded to try to chart the progression and accuracy of what I'm doing. So I hope you do enjoy these. And this is going to be the supplemental that's going to add here about 8 names to the first video that covers the general indices and some of the ones in big tech, and also the ones that I would be very interested in more actively trading. I didn't cover the Nasdaq in that first video, so I want you to see here the Nasdaq weekly, and we're going to be taking a look at the week with a higher low and a higher high. Now, it didn't recapture the 8-week EMA, and it is an indecisive, probably neutrally bearish, bullish candle. But without further breakdown this week, just by the looks of it, that does appear to possibly be the start of an uptrend. And by my EW count progression, I would have it in a very, very aggressive finish over the next, let's say, maybe 3 months. We get into the daily, and I'm going to be looking at the potential of a 1-2 start within this intermediate 5 of primary 3. It fib back in between the 50 and 62% retracements. I think it is very possible that within this increasing channel, we see another top hit. And the suggestion would be, because it would be within a minor 3, that this actually could happen quickly. So over the course of the next month, is it possible that we see the Nasdaq gain upwards to maybe 1,500 to 2,000 points? That is possibly what the Elliott wave projections are suggesting. Now, some very interesting names and charts. I really like the semiconductor space as an opportunity to get out and show some outperformance. This is AMD. You can see a higher low, a weekly higher high. It was pushed back by both weekly MAs and an important pivot right around 84. Take you in here to the daily. I just think that was a minor 1, minor 2. It held this lower part of the bull channel. That was kind of a theme that you've seen in a lot of other names. This progresses out and projects into a strong movement into the $100 at some point, let's say early to midsummer. Onto the short-term time frame, I think we've got the potential of an establishment of a bull channel. Now there are 3 ticks on the bottom side. It's not really a bull channel until it gets ticked to the top side. So I've got the potential of minor 3 accomplishing that, let's say over the next month. We could even see an internal progression that moves up to hit that top and challenge some of these pivots, this one particularly in the 88 to 89 range. Let's look at Alibaba. So Alibaba with a nice week, up nearly 3.5%. This is a bullish outside candle. I think it just put in a B wave low. Now, I have this actually as a corrective move. I am actually calling, and I've been calling this ever since I put my first chart on Alibaba months and months ago, that this actually eventually will fail when we see the general topping in the market. But why not go ahead and try to catch a big 30 to 40% run up over the next, let's say, 3 months? We look into the daily, and we're going to see that low here that I think just retested a previous gap area. And then we're going to be possibly looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, a 5-wave move up, maybe a rest back to test the 8 EMA. But I am projecting that it will challenge that top rail, let's say by June or July, just shy of maybe $300. Here is BYND. And BYND, I am still a fan of. It is just basing, in my opinion, right beneath this really important pivot at 142 to 143. I have very ambitious upside targets over the next, let's say, 18 to 24 months. And into the daily, I want to highlight this pivot as the area of basing and then breaking. So here all the way back in September, here again in the early part of this year, an attempt, a pullback, and then a massive move. We had an attempt and a pullback and a massive move. Did it just do it again? An attempt and a pullback, and could it be we're ready for that massive move? If the channeling holds, if the Elliott wave projection is accurate, we could see a massive price appreciation in BYND over the next 3 months. How about Salesforce? Just a huge 8-month bull flag potentially on Salesforce. Of course, it has to break out the top to make it actually a bull flag, but we have active top and bottom rails. And notice that we had an inside week on Salesforce. So basically exactly flat, but inside. But you're going to notice a really tempting 1-2 setup with an Elliott wave fib that would get it up and out of the top. Now, this all-time high, I can't be confident of the timing of it. I can't say that it's going to happen in 3 months. That would be a massive price move of about 40%. It's not impossible. It is possible that these waves just spread out a little bit more and we eventually get there, but maybe not until sometime in 2022. But we'll at least keep these potential minor 3 fib targets on there so we can look out and project into the future. What about Home Depot? What a massive break. This chart reminded me a lot of what Facebook had just done. Although Facebook didn't make an all-time high, HD did. Look at this. Just actually, it's a little bit shy of an all-time high, but a breakout of this very, very long-winded bull flag. 2 huge weeks with just 2 massive bulls in control candles. And the internals, I'm not sure. When a move is just this extended, I'm not exactly sure of how the internals count. My suggestion would be if it just moves back and back tests this breakout, that would be an entry. And I have a price target. This could be conservative here at about 316. It's possible that this extends beyond a 5 equals 1 fib and it's out into the 330, 340 range by the middle of summer. Here's Palantir. So I have Palantir in either a nested 1-2 or a minor 1-2. We'll just alter that as we go. I think a pretty appealing bull flag with an inverse head and shoulders move. And on Palantir, this is the nested version of the count. If this breaks out, it could do it with some enthusiasm. And I have these fibs targeting the low to mid $30 range. Here, that top one would be a 50% move. I know that's massive, but it has a lot of room to run to the upside if it does. Here's our Z. We'll finish with Zoom. Not nearly as optimistic on this name, but you know, it did just put in an inside week, slightly below its 50-week MA, but it also has the possibility of a 1-2 low, looking for a 3 to possibly challenge the top. And then the projections from there, this count would eventually project to a new all-time high. Can't say for sure it would happen in 2021, but that is at least what the next wave would suggest if we get the bullish resolution in the general stock market. So that completes the stocks A to Z picture. Here was AMD, including the Nasdaq all the way through Zoom. And again, have a wonderful weekend. Like and subscribe if you're enjoying these videos. Shoot me some questions and comments on Twitter or YouTube. Love interacting with you and doing my best to try to keep you on the right side of the trend.